Well guys, the Sony Xperia 1 Mark VI is out of here. And when I mean that, it is out of the US market. But I'm not gonna make this a celebration video. I'm gonna take this video to dedicate to talk about the phone and really break down Sony's reason why they pulled this phone from the US market. And not only am I gonna sit here and debunk at least a few of them, but I'm also gonna explain to you guys the real reason why they pulled out of the market. Again, I am going to probably piss off some Sony fans, and I'm not sorry for that. So if I hurt your feelings, grab some tissues, blow your nose, because you're in for a rude awakening. So the Sony Xperia 1 Mark VI is officially released, and for the most part, if you guys haven't seen any of my Sony Xperia videos that I have done on my channel, you will know that I am very critical of this phone, but not because it's a bad phone. I'm very critical of this phone because of Sony's game plan on how they've positioned this phone. And for a while now, I have been very tough. And I don't like to be that way, especially with a phone that is as capable as the Xperia phones. And this new model, the Xperia 1 Mark VI, actually looks to be the best model they've released to date. As a matter of fact, it might actually be just that. The only problem is, if you live in the United States, you're not gonna see that. And I'm gonna tell you why. So the first thing to talk about is, of course, the tech spec. So the first thing to note is that it is no longer using a 4K OLED display. It is using an FHD Plus display that still gives you that great contrast if you are a Sony user that loves their screen quality. It may not be a 4K OLED display, but because it's going with the FHD Plus displays, it does conserve battery, it doesn't consume as much, and you still get better performance without having to sacrifice on the battery. It also gets the Snapdragon 3 Gen chip along with all the perks of it. It also gets an upgraded camera module with a 48 megapixel lens, 12 megapixels dual lens, and then in the front you also get your 12 megapixel, and it still comes with a headphone jack, which is something that weirdly feels like a feature now instead of something that used to be standard a long time ago. It also has the dual speakers in the front. The phone itself does have the fingerprint button on the side, which is something that they never implemented under the display. But after using it on iPads, I gotta be honest with you, I kind of like it a lot better than the in-display fingerprint scanner. So I will give Sony that. On top of that, it does come with 12 gigabytes of RAM. It also will ship with 256 gigabytes of storage, but you can up the storage to 512. And the price right now is retailed around $1,099 to $1,299 retail. Now, here's the problem. This phone on paper is actually a very good phone. This is actually the best phone that Sony has made to date. It took them 5 releases, but they actually did it, because not only did they pull back a few things to maximize even more, but they never sacrificed anything outside of that display. The camera quality is still the same, but upgraded. You also have better photography, you have better video capturing, better OIS, AI enhancements, you have better sound, high-res audio, wired and wireless if you're an Android user. It had the best display, it had the Android experience where it will now give you 3, I believe it's going up to 4 years of OS upgrades. It had everything. And this model was a chef kiss. Mwah! It was perfect. But then Sony announced that it was not going to release this phone in the United States, and their reasoning, and I'm gonna debunk it, but there is some truth to it, but I'm gonna debunk it, guys. The reason that they are not releasing this phone is because they claim it was not compatible with some of the US cellular networks. Now, here's the thing. They are not wrong. They are actually not wrong on this. There is some truth to this. Taking a look at the phone's modem specs, and having collaborated with Sneed Mobile Tech, by the way, thank you Sneed for helping with the breakdown. Yes, it is missing a few key bandwidths for AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. For Verizon, it is missing all of the millimeter wave compatibility. So if you really want that fast 5G network experience, kiss that goodbye. With AT&T N30, which is something that they are transitioning to, and then of course with T-Mobile, low 5G bandwidth. So let's say if you're gonna get a call and you need to get that voice put, kiss that low band frequency range out of it. Now, to you guys that are not tech savvy, those three things are definitely a major player and can impact your performance with the phone. While it is compatible with AT&T, T-Mobile, and even Verizon, it will have those limitations. So Sony's not lying when they say that. They're not lying. However, the thing is, guys, is that with all of the Sony Xperia 1 Mark phones, they were still releasing them with these limitations. And it turns out that in order for you to not only have full compatibility, you have to pay the carriers a licensing fee to use their bandwidth on the network to enhance that. So that means that for 5 generations, Sony was releasing these phones with the rival in 5G, with the rise in millimeter wave, low bandwidth, all that. They knew there were limited compatibilities and they still released it. They still released that phone. So that's the first thing to debunk, is that they're saying incompatibility. It's been incompatibility for the last few releases. So that's one. Number two, like I said before, they just have to pay a licensing fee. Now, I'm not gonna knock them for this one because I get it. Their sales are not there. And we'll get back to that moment in just a second. Their sales are not there. So in their mind, they're like, why do we need to pay for certifications and licensing? But we'll explain that after. So I get it. It does lose some money. They didn't want to lose any money. So that's number two. Now, number three. Here's the thing. Now, most of you are probably saying, but wait a minute. The modem is not built. Guys, it is using the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon modem. Those modems, by default, have it all built in. Where it lacks is that certification that can be easily toggled with a software update from your carrier or from Sony themselves. And as I said before, they didn't want to pay the licensing, they didn't want to pay the carriers to get the certification. And it's because of that that they're now trying to pivot this reason and spin it to everyone and say that it's not compatible. When you've known that for the last 4 or 5 releases, you never had the compatibilities. You had it for maybe 2 phones at the most. But to sit there and to spin this narrative is completely false. There is some truth to it, but I've just shown you guys and I've given you evidence. But here's the real reason why it's not in the US market. And it has been a reason that I have been stating for every single video. If you watch any of my Sony Xperia videos, you will absolutely know that I have stood by this one claim and it never changed. They did not care about their presence. Look at the tech landscape in the American market. Google has made some strides with the Pixel series. Apple is dominating with the iPhones. Samsung is the solid number 2. Motorola is also in the game. LG is somewhat in the game with HTC sort of now coming back. And there's a lot of manufacturers and a lot of players in the market. The thing is that in order for you to break into that, you need to convince other people that use Androids why they should switch to your phone and your phone. The problem is they didn't do that. Sony had the makings of a perfect Android, the perfect display, the perfect sound, the perfect performance. It was a basic collaboration of everything that made Sony. Every department they had, from gaming, entertainment, phone, displays, televisions, all of it, audio, put into one device that could sell to the masses. They had a home run. But what did they do? They lacked the marketing presence. They lacked the release cycle. They released it so late that the newest Snapdragon chip came out a few months after the release of the phone. They also lacked carrier partnerships. They never worked with any carrier to push this phone into retail stores. They had lackluster trade-ins. They never cared about really trying to sell this phone here in the American market. And the sad part about all of this is when I tried to bring these issues, I ate a shit ton from the Sony fanboys. And to all you Sony fanboys, here's my message to you. You could say whatever you want. You could defend the Sony Spider-Man universe all you like. But here is what makes a phone, makes it stand out from the crowd. Money talks, words say less. You like to do nothing but type on your keyboards. You do nothing but insult other people for giving you facts, but yet you will go on that keyboard and type your crap. But I wonder, can you put your money where your mouth is? And 95% of you don't. I guarantee you 95% of you don't even know a Sony phone existed. So tell me again how you are helping the situation. And if you want to sit here and insult me, be my guest. Go ahead. But you know what? It doesn't change the facts. For the last 6 releases, Sony had a chance. They had something special. It looked like they were going that route, and this is where we're at now. So I want to hear your defenses. I really do. But taking all of that out and taking my own personal vendetta out of this, here's the truth of the matter. Sony had the iPhone of Androids. From build, specs, quality, everything. Cameras, you name it. They had it all. Where they fell short was the delivery and everything that I've said. And it is a shame because I have a strange suspicion that we're never going to see this phone come back to America. They did it before in the past, it failed, they did it again, they didn't invest in marketing, they didn't pair up with a carrier, they didn't do any promotion or advertisement, and this is what they get. And you know what? You want to call this video a hate piece? Go ahead. But I'm just telling you, I am a Sony fan, whether you believe me or not. I've had PlayStation all my life. Sony televisions are everywhere in our house. Their cameras are top quality, which is actually something I'm going to be getting at the end of the year. So Sony is a strong, reputable brand. They make great products. This could have been that, but they didn't do that. Instead, they chose not to push it like they should have. And you know what? These are the results you get. And I'm sorry, if you actually enjoy the Xperia phones, I feel your pain. Because if you actually use it in the United States, I feel for you because they are a great phone. I was gonna switch to the Xperia to use that camera system. I was ready to switch, trade in my Fold, but now the option's not there. So all in all, to wrap up this video, it's a great phone that we're never gonna see.